There's a question that runs underneath depression. Quiet, corrosive. What's the point? If you've been carrying that one, I want to talk to you directly, because I don't think you're being told the truth about what's happening. Depression rose more than 10% in the last year. And most of the conversation treats you like a problem to be fixed. Something's wrong with your chemistry, your thinking, your wiring. Maybe some of that's real, but there's a piece nobody names, and that piece is what I want to hand you today. Here's what you're living with: the flatness, the loss of interest in things that used to matter, the fatigue that sleep doesn't touch, mornings where getting out of bed feels like lifting something too heavy to lift, and underneath all of it, what's the point? I'm not going to argue with the feeling. That never works. What I'm going to do is show you where it's actually coming from, because that changes what you do about it. That hollow feeling, it's what happens when you get disconnected from your own center for so long that you forget it's there. Not gone, buried. And I want to tell you how it got buried, because it wasn't your fault. And it wasn't one big event. It was suppression. Slow. Ordinary. It works like this. Early on, you learn that some parts of you got a negative response, so you stopped expressing them. That's stage one, and everyone does it. But then something deeper happens. You don't just stop expressing them, you begin to stop feeling them. The longing for the thing you set aside, the anger you were never allowed to have, the grief for a self that never got to fully exist. Suppression protects you from the immediate cost of being real, but it also slowly, systematically separates you from yourself. And when you've suppressed enough, for long enough, you end up disconnected from your own center, running your entire life from a depleted, hollow place. Of course, everything flattens. Anyone living that far from themselves would go hollow. There's a version of you, clear, present, yourself, that exists in the moment before the heaviness takes over. You've been so far from it for so long that you stopped believing it was real. It's real. I call it first cause, the moment before. Here's the reframe. The whole thing turns on this. The problem was never that you're broken. The problem is that you've been living without a return mechanism, a way back to yourself. And when you can't get back, everything flattens. First cause is the return. And the thing that took me years to understand, the return is trainable, not the feeling, the return. I'm not going to tell you to think happy thoughts. That's insulting, and it doesn't work. This is about rebuilding the path back to the person who was always there underneath. Let me tell you what that looks like, concretely, because vague hope is worse than useless. The first 2 weeks, you're not chasing a transformation. You're looking for one moment, one decision that came from a cleaner place than usual. One morning where you found 60 seconds of return before the day pressed down. Small, real, noticeable to you before anyone else. By 30 days, you can name 3 moments where you were different, and you can see it in data, measurable movement across 5 dimensions of your inner life. Based on research, that matters more than it sounds. When you're in the flatness, you can't trust your own read on whether anything's changing. The data confirms what you've started to sense. The practice is working. By 90 days, the return is faster than the heaviness. You catch yourself before the whole day disappears into it. You start making decisions from genuine knowing instead of from depletion. And other people notice something different, even if they can't name what. I want to be careful here, because I know how this can sound from inside the flatness. Like one more person promising you that some simple practice will fix a thing that has not budged for anyone, no matter what they tried. So let me be precise about what I'm actually saying. I'm not telling you the heaviness vanishes. I'm telling you the return gets faster. Those are different claims. In the beginning, the heaviness might last all day, and the return is a single minute you clawed back. 1 minute of remembering there's a you underneath all of it. But that minute is real, and it's yours. And here's the thing about the flatness. It lies to you about permanence. It tells you this is how it will always be. The return is the direct evidence that it isn't. Every time you come back, even for a minute, you're collecting proof against the thing the depression keeps telling you. That proof accumulates, and the data holds it for you, so on the days you can't feel the progress, you can still see it. That's why this works when willpower alone doesn't. You're not being asked to feel better on command. You're being asked to return briefly, repeatedly, and let the returns do the slow work of adding up. Here's what I need you to hear. The point you've been looking for isn't out there. It's not in an achievement. It's not in a circumstance. The point is the return itself. The moment you come back to yourself and remember, oh, there I am, that moment is the whole thing. And it's repeatable. Every return is a rep. The reps compound. The path back gets shorter. The version of you that's been buried gets closer to the surface, day by day, until one afternoon you realize you were fully present and you didn't have to force it. You are not a problem to be managed. You're a person who lost the way back. And you can learn it again. Start by finding out exactly where you stand. It maps exactly where you are across 5 dimensions of your inner life. And one more thing. This is a hard subject. If you're struggling, please reach out to a licensed professional or someone you trust. The way back is real, and you don't have to walk it alone. I'm Candace. I'll see you in the next one.